On April 6, 2023, when RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das addressed the media after announcing the MPC decision to keep the repo rate unchanged, he emphasized that this was just a pause, not a pivot. Since then, Governor Das has repeated the statement several times. According to the Oxford Dictionary, pause means to stop talking or doing something briefly before continuing. And pivot? Pivot is to turn or balance on a central point, says the dictionary. So what did Das mean when he said it was a pause and not a pivot? Data tells us that Consumer Price Index or CPI-based inflation stayed above the RBI's comfort zone of 2 to 6% in most months in 2022. In fact, average inflation was above the 6% mark for 3 consecutive quarters in 2022: January to March, April to June, and July to September. According to the RBI Act, average inflation staying outside the 2 to 6% band for 3 straight quarters constitutes a failure of the monetary policy. The monetary policy framework with explicit inflation targeting was introduced in October 2016, and 2022 was the first time the RBI failed to meet the mandate. To tackle this persistent high inflation, the RBI's Monetary Policy Committee raised the repo rate by 250 basis points between May 2022 and February 2023. In April 2023, the MPC decided to hold the rates steady. This was the pause. When Governor Das called it a pause, he meant that the RBI MPC was not ready to drop its guard on inflation just yet. That is, inflation remained the top priority. It maintained an accommodative stance, and calling it a pause meant the RBI was not ruling out further rate hikes. According to Das, RBI paused the April policy to gauge the impact of policy actions so far. RBI's monetary policy faces a trade-off between inflation and growth. If the inflation concerns are taken care of, the RBI MPC may decide on a new course of action to facilitate growth. Such a turn in monetary policy would be classified as a pivot. When Governor Das said it was a pause and not a pivot, the subtext was that inflation was still the top priority and the RBI MPC would not start cutting rates just yet to push growth upwards. How long is the pause likely to last? That would depend on the trajectory followed by inflation and GDP growth. If both stay close to RBI's projections, the pause may last a little longer.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.